The port workers who went on strike earlier this week are apparently going to return to work on Friday, meaning that their strike lasted only a few days. Apparently, negotiators have reached some sort of agreement, although the agreement isn't really about what the workers were demanding. It's more about extending the current contract or the contract that just expired to after the election, in which the negotiations will continue. So according to reporting from CNN, the union agreed to extend the contract that had expired at the end of Monday until January 15th and have the union members back on the job while the final details are worked out in a full agreement and it is ratified by the rank and file. I don't know how they came to this agreement. The port workers, of course, were really fired up, and it's mostly port workers on the East Coast because they're represented by a different union than the port workers on the West Coast. But it was still going to have a pretty big impact on our economy. I mean, that's where the workers have the leverage in order to get the kind of deal that they're looking for. Now, a tentative deal would, of course, still need to be ratified by rank and file ILA members. ILA is the union before it could take effect. But for now, their previous contract will be extended to January 15th.
Look, guys, so one of our members wrote in here. In fact, I'll read it for you guys, even though it's not a positive comment at all. Mark Lanford, a YouTube member, wrote in, "This show really just does make you want to give up. Because why? Because we're honest to you guys, with you guys about not just one side, but both sides, right? And it gets discouraging because it's nice to have the false hope that the Democrats are going to deliver for you and save everything. But they get in every time and barely do anything, and then they say you owe them your vote, etc. So if we lied to you and told you, oh my God, Kamala Harris is gonna save the whole planet, and she's gonna get us out of, she's gonna stop Israel from killing people in Gaza, and she's gonna hold the oil companies and the bankers accountable. I mean, you can get those lies anywhere you want, all over the internet, right? But what we do that's different, other than giving you the truth, is we actually try to give you real hope, not false hope. We have a thing called Operation Hope where we try to make a difference in the world. And one of the things that we did was trying to get rid of Biden so that we wouldn't lose to Trump. Another thing we're doing is helping with a main ballot initiative to get money out of politics. And I give that all of as a preface to you guys, also trying to help raise the minimum wage in California and Massachusetts. As a preface to, look at what happens when you try. Not false hope, but real hope. And what have unions done in the last couple of years in this country? They got rid of their old union leadership who was super happy and comfortable to work with the corporations and not fight back at all, and got a pittance for their members as these corporations made billions and trillions of dollars and didn't share it with their workers. And the minute they started fighting back, here at Young Turks, we started supporting them and giving you more and more videos about what they were up to, way more than mainstream media or almost any other show. And look at what's happening now. They're winning. Because when you fight, you win. When you go towards realistic solutions, you can win. But you have to know something that's important. If you just want to be comfortable and say, oh, I voted for a Democrat and I'm just going to listen to whatever they say, you're not going to get to the right answer. In order to topple the powerful and stand up for the average American like these guys did, you have to challenge the powerful. And that requires a fight. So when you're fighting, it's not because you're a bad guy or you're mean. These longshoremen said, hey, these companies that we work for over the last 4 years made $400 billion. It's not too mean of us to ask for a bigger slice of that, whereas the executives take home untold sums of money. And they were right. They weren't fighting because they're bad guys, they were fighting because they were good guys. And now they have a much better deal.
Well, they might have a much better deal. They're kicking the can down the road until after the election, and they'll continue negotiating, and we'll see what happens. But for now, they're gonna go back to work on Friday. The final thing that I'll mention is the way the media has covered this story, because of course, most legacy media is owned by massive corporations. And so their top concern is the economy. And if this strike went on longer, it would have had an impact on the economy, a negative impact on the economy. And so what they did is, instead of focusing on the needs and concerns of the workers, the port workers who are a huge part of keeping this economy going, they decided to really focus in on their leader, the union president, Harold Daggett. And they kept running stories about the beautiful home he lives in. He allegedly has a yacht. If that's true, it's true. It is what it is.
By the way,
hold on. Let me finish. Let me make my point, okay? Do these same reporters look at our politicians who end up becoming freaking millionaires as they are sitting and walking in the halls of Congress, supposedly representing our best interests, as they're engaging in insider trading, as they're stealing from the American people, as they're getting bribed by corporations? Do they ever look at the multiple homes that our lawmakers are living in and enjoying? Oh, they can't be bothered with that. But when it comes to a union leader, oh, unacceptable. He lives in a luxury home. I don't care what kind of home he lives in. What I care about is whether or not he's actually representing the union members. And from the looks of it, so far, so good.
Yeah, and by the way, you want to hold union leadership accountable? Man, so the American worker is our #1 constituent and viewer here at the Young Turks. But oftentimes we take on union leadership because we thought they weren't standing up for their unions enough. And then they get super mad at us, et cetera. Then that's how the powerful always roll. But I almost interrupted Anna there, sorry, because I was gonna point out Joe Manchin's yacht. And so Joe Manchin literally lives on a yacht in DC. It's a gigantic. He drives like a Maserati or something, but when protesters blocked his car one day, and then protesters from West Virginia took like a little boat out to his yacht, they were framed as radical protesters bothering Joe Manchin. And this union guy, I don't know him from Adam. I don't know if he's got like a dinghy or a yacht. I have no idea. But I could see the mainstream media looking at a little boat and going, yacht! Yeah. And looking at Manchin's giant yacht and goes, poor guy. They're what are they, pirates attacking poor Joe Manchin?
Listen, I'm not one of these people who hates on others because they're wealthy or because they're enjoying a luxury lifestyle, as long as they're good people and they're doing the right thing, okay? I don't think wealth is an indicator of someone being a bad person. Being a bad person, being a crooked, corrupt person that works against the best interests of the very people who elected you to represent them, that makes you a bad person.
By the way, the protesters, all they did with Joe Manchin was ask him questions that the reporters refused to ask him. Like, hey, aren't you taking checks from the same guys that you're voting with and voting against the American people, voting against us in West Virginia? All right, last thing is, guys, yes, because it was the election and it could have affected the economy so much, my guess is the Democrats put a world of pressure on this leadership to put it past the election, right, to the resolution. But do not let it go after the election. If Kamala Harris wins, what the Democrats will tell you is everything is solved now. So just, okay, and they're creating problems. The workers are creating inflation. It's the workers' fault. That's what corporate media will tell you 24/7. I've never seen anyone in corporate media go, hey, maybe it's the executives that get paid 1,000 times, 4,000 times what these guys get paid that are causing the problems. Never, because they're corporate media. So don't listen to them when they try to make you go back to sleep and go, it's okay, a Democrat's in charge, so you don't have to worry about it. Don't pay them, it's their fault. Go back to supporting corporations. No, don't do that. Hold Republicans and Democrats accountable. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.